When we had a chance to meet earlier, we talked a lot about Buy America rules. I consider myself a huge champion of Buy America rules, the straightforward idea that when you're using taxpayer dollars to build infrastructure, we should be employing American products and American workers and supporting American businesses. 4 years ago, when we had Pete Buttigieg sitting before this panel, I asked him about Buy America rules, and particularly his commitment to work to discontinue a waiver that had been in place for 40 years that allowed federal highway projects to sidestep Buy America rules. Well, earlier this week, the Department of Transportation finalized a rule to discontinue that long-term waiver. And it's been a long time coming. And I am proud to say that it will ensure stronger Buy America standards for highway construction. So I ask you today, this rule will be rolled out in 2 phases over the next 2 years. Are you committed to seeing this final rule through as written? And speak generally about your commitment to Buy America rules.
First, I appreciate you and your work for Buy America. It's an issue that I share with you, and I think you've been a leader in the Congress on this issue, and I commend you for that. It matters for Wisconsin, but also matters for the country as a whole. And so, again, in broad sense, I agree with you, and you made wonderful points about how many waivers are issued to get around the rules. And I made a commitment to you in your office that I would work on that and look at it. In regard specifically to this rule, I think it just came out. I haven't had a chance to review it. So to commit to a rule I haven't seen or read would be difficult for me. But the concepts that we have discussed, I am committed to. And so I would like to look at it and circle back with you if you would accept.
We will talk further about it without question. And on this same vein, when we passed the bipartisan infrastructure law in November of 2021, it included my Build America, Buy America provision to strengthen Buy America preferences for iron and steel products, construction materials, and manufactured products on all federal aid awards used for public works infrastructure construction. The law includes requirements to impose strong Buy America standards on programs that are deemed deficient, meaning that they are not covered at all, or the existing coverage is outdated or undermined by loopholes, as we've discussed. Do you commit to enforcing our Buy America laws, particularly for DOT programs that are deficient?
Yes, I commit to following the law as passed by Congress, and especially in regard to these issues.
Okay, thank you. Last Congress, the Federal Aviation Administration Authorization Act was signed into law. And this law included a provision from my Air Carrier Access Amendments Act to ensure that airplanes are designed to accommodate people with disabilities, and airlines meet accessibility standards, including for individuals who use wheelchairs. How will the department, under your leadership, work to improve access to air travel for those with disabilities, including our nation's veterans with disabilities?
And I appreciate you bringing that up, and I know Senator Duckworth and I talked about this as well. And I would just note that disabilities come in all forms, shapes, and sizes. My daughter, who you've all met, she has Down syndrome. We'll deal with our own set of challenges with her, but making sure that people who have disabilities have access to all modes of transportation, I think, is critically important. And I would work with you and Senator Duckworth and the Department of Transportation to see what additional steps we can and should be taking, 1, to follow the law, but 2, to make sure that everyone has access.
Thank you. In this next Congress, this committee will be working to reauthorize the Surface Transportation Bill. In 2022, we tragically lost Sarah DeVink Langenkamp, who was riding her bicycle home from on a road in Bethesda, Maryland. Sarah was raised in Wisconsin. She was a U.S. diplomat and a mother of 2 boys who had been evacuated from Ukraine in the summer of 2022, only to be killed 2 weeks later. Last Congress, working with Sarah's family, Senators Cardin and Van Hollen, I introduced legislation that would make it easier for states and local governments to use Highway Safety Improvement Program funding as a local match to build safe infrastructure for bike riders and pedestrians. Senator Schatz brought this issue up also. What will the department's plan be to eliminate traffic fatalities and serious injuries under your leadership?
My heart goes out to Sarah's family. And again, I'm well aware of when these tragedies hit, how they absolutely destroy families. And so I'll take a look at the bill that you all authored, and I would commit to working with you to figure out what steps we can take to make sure our roadways are safer for everybody.